Ete Imhotep Shani Sanet Akwas the Jed Uncle Jasaneb. Your brother Asar MK back at you live again. I'm doing laundry and stuff, man. It's crazy in here, but y'all know what it is. Do I for listening. As usual. Last time we left you, we were talking about Ankh Sheshonq. We covered the premise of which led him to write the writings that he wrote. He was put in jail for, not acting, speaking on the plot of the chief priest, the chief doctor, plotting to kill the Nesu Beti of ancient Kemet, and that was Harsis. So if you didn't hear the first portion, you want to go back and check the first portion so you can get the story. This portion here, you probably want to get your pen and pencil out. And in doing so, he left a full body of knowledge. Some of the stuff you will hear will be, quotes that made it to your Bible. Some of the stuff that you will hear will be quotes that made it to your Quran. Some of the stuff you will hear will be quotes that made it to your Bhagavad Gita. Different things of that nature. And as I spoke on before, I can only do webcam right now. I've got issues with the computer. So, where I wanted to have this up with the picture that I created, we'll do that later after I finish this portion, and we'll fix it so that it's that picture on there and some pictures of Ankh Sheshonq. We'll do all that later when I go to the editing. But this is so you can hear ahead of time for those who have never heard the maxims of Ankh Sheshonq. And we'll start at the first portion. And remember, when there's a part missing, I'll tell you how many letters are missing from that portion. Generally, it's in six words, actually, not letters, it's words. 6 words will be missing from a phrase, as we talked about the condition this was found in initially. So let's begin without further ado. Remember, Ankh Sheshonq got thrown in jail. Harsis and any people who conspired against the Nesu Beti, the king, the pharaoh, were killed. They were burned. And Ankh Sheshonq ended up with life imprisonment because he didn't say anything. He tried to stop Harsis from doing this, especially after given favor by the Nesu Beti. The Nesu made him the chief physician of their town, and he allowed his family members to become priests, his friends and family to become priests, and didn't even charge them the fee that it takes to be a doctor. There was no fee attached to it. They just let them become doctors just on the strength of Harsis being such a fine physician, and Harsis turns around and conspires to kill the Nesu Beti. And so our brother gets life imprisonment by association, just by association alone. And because of that, he had a child that he had not had a chance to attend to. And so he wanted this known for that child. So he wrote out instructions, as we should all do for our children. Write instructions for the things that you want to happen in that child's life, for the betterment of that child, so that the child knows why you created him, and some of the pitfalls in life that they will deal with, whether it's a girl or a boy. But let's go. Let's get into it. Here we go. Don't mind my room. Like I said, we're doing laundry today, and it's going down right now. You know what it is. All right. It says, when Pri is angry with the land he causes, and there are some pieces missing. When Pri is angry with the land, its ruler neglects the law. When Pri is angry with the land, he makes law cease in it. When Pri is angry with the land, he makes sanctity cease in it. When Pri is angry with the land, he makes justice cease in it. And by Pri, he means the Nesu Beti, the pharaoh, the king. When Pri is angry with the land, he makes value scarce in it. When Pri is angry with the land, he does not let one be trusting in it. When Pri is angry with the land, he does not let one receive ransom in it. When Pri is angry with the land, he makes great its humble people and humbles its great people. When Pri is angry with the land, he sets the fools over the wise. When Pri is angry with the land, he orders its rulers to mistreat its people. When Pri is angry with the land, he appoints its scribes to rule it. When Pri is angry with the land, he appoints its washermen as chief of police. Here follow the words that Ankh Sheshonq, son of Chianufi, wrote on the sherds of the jars that were brought into him containing mixed wine, so as to give them as an instruction to his son, and which were reported before Pharaoh and his great men daily. Ankh Sheshonq, son of Chianufi, had realized the fact that he was uh, linger in prison, no longer in prison since they had not released him. And he wrote on the sherds of the jars the matters that he could teach his son in writing. Two, three, four, five, six. Six portions are missing, and then it begins. Serve your Necha, that he may guard you. Serve your brothers, that you may have good repute. Serve a wise man, that he may serve you. Serve him who serves you. Serve any man, that you may find profit. Serve your father and mother, that you may go and prosper. Examine every matter, that you may understand it. Be gentle and patient, then your heart will be beautiful. It is in maturity that instruction succeeds. Do not rely on the prosperity of another, saying, I will live on it. Acquire your own. Do not abuse when you fare well, lest you fare badly. Do not send a low woman on a business of yours, she will go after her own. Do not send a wise man in a small matter when a big matter is waiting. Do not send a fool in a big matter when there is a wise man whom you can send. Do not long for your home when you do an errand. Do not long for your home to drink beer in it in midday. Do not pamper your body lest you become weak. Do not pamper yourself when you are young, lest you be weak when you are old. Do not hate a man to his face when you know nothing of him. Do not fret so long as you own something. Do not worry so long as you own something. Do not fret at all. Do not fret about your occupation. Six parts are missing. Six parts are missing again. The beginning of a second portion. It says, force your son. Do not let your servant force him. Do not spare your son work when you can make him do it. Do not instruct a fool, lest he hate town. Respect the people of your town. Do not say, I am learned. Set yourself to become wise. Do not do a thing that you have not first examined. Examining makes your good fortune. If you examine three wise men about a matter, it is perfect. The outcome lies with the great Necha. Do well by your body in your days of well being. There is no one who does not die. Do not withdraw from a scribe who is being taken to the house of detention. If you withdraw from him, they will take him to the house of eternity. And a lot of us can relate to that, considering what's happening with a lot of police brutality right now, right? Do not go to court against your superior when you do not have protection against him. Do not take to yourself a woman whose husband is alive, lest he become your enemy. In straight times or happy times, wealth grows because of spreading it. May your fate not be the fate of one who begs and is given. When you work the land, do not pamper your body. Do not say, here is my brother's ark or my brother's acre. Look to your own. The wealth of a town is a lord who does justice. The wealth of a temple is the priest. The wealth of a field is the time when it is worked. The wealth of a storehouse is in stocking it. The wealth of a treasury is in being in a single hand. The wealth of property is a wise woman, and the wealth of a wise man is his speech. Let's go to part nine. Part nine, six portions are missing at the top. It says the wealth, then six more parts are missing. Then it begins. It says, the wealth of an army is its leader. The wealth of a town is not taking sides. The wealth of a craftsman is his equipment. Do not scorn a document that has a claim on you. Do not scorn a remedy that you can use. Do not scorn Pharaoh's business. Do not scorn a matter that concerns a cow. Do not scorn, or he who scorns matters too often will die of it. Do not quarrel over a matter in which you are wrong. Do not say, my land thrives. Do not cease to inspect it. Put your wealth in a town to which you must send. Wealth takes hold of its owner. The owner of a cow gets to run. Do not spend before you have set up your storehouse. Spend according to the size of your means. And then we go to chapter 10. Six lines are missing in the beginning of chapter 10. And then it says, do not say, and then six more lines are missing. And then it begins. Do not say, I am good at writing, and six more lines are missing. A scribe in a shipyard, a craftsman and three lines are missing. When the crocodile shows itself, its reputation is measured. A crocodile does not die of worry, it dies of hunger. What they do insults me, says the fool when one instructs him. You may trip over your foot in the house of a great man. You should not trip over your tongue. If you are thrown out of the house of your master, be his doorkeeper. If your master is sitting by the river, do not immerse your hands in front of him. May my brother be a groom. When he mounts, I will boast. May my companions say, Jehudi knows not. May he not die for whom I would rend my clothing. May the elder brother of the town be the one to whom it is entrusted. May I have something and my brother have something, that I may eat my own without abstaining. May the flood water never fail to come. May the field never fail to flourish. May the poor plot of land be the one that grows fodder in abundance. May the cow receive her bull. May the son do honor to his father. May it be a master's son who becomes master. May my mother be my hairdresser, so as to do for me what is pleasant. May the moon follow the sun and not fail to rise. May existence always follow death. And then we go to part 11, which is missing six portions at the beginning. And then it says, may I, and then it's missing six portions. And then it begins. May I stretch out my hand to my, and it's missing six lines. May I get to know my neighbor, that I may give him my goods. May I get to know my brother, that I may open my heart to him. Do not be a hindrance often, lest you be cursed. Do not get drunk often, lest you go mad. Take a wife when you are 20 years old, that you may have a son while you are young. Do not kill a snake and then leave its tail. Do not hurl a lance if you cannot hold its aim. He who sends spittle up to the sky will have it fall on him. A man's character is his family. A man's character is his destiny. A man's character is on his face. A man's character is one of his limbs. The fisherman throws on board without knowing that it is the netcher who sends to every house. Do not stay on the road till evening, saying, I am sure of the houses. You do not know the hearts of their inhabitants. A magistrate who steals, his son will be poor. Do not tie your donkey's foot to the palm tree, lest he shake it. Do not laugh at your son in front of his mother, lest you learn the size of his father. It is not of a bull that a bull is born. Do not say the enemy of the Necher is alive today. Look to the end. Say, good fate at the end of old age. Put your affairs in the hand of the Necher. Let's go to part 12, which is missing the first 6 lines. Then it says, do not, and then it's missing 6 more lines. And then it says, do not, and it's missing 6 more lines. Suffer. Do not suffer. Man does not know the days of his misfortune. Do not entrust your people to one who has not experienced distress. Do not delay to get yourself a tomb on the mountain. You do not know the length of your life. Do not do evil to a man and so cause another to do it to you. Happy is the heart of him who has made a judgment before a wise man. A wise master who asks advice, his house stands forever. Disdain ruins a great man. A great crime, 6 lines are missing, is what one despises. The work of a fool does not succeed in a house where a wise man is. Do not trust her with her provision for 1 year. As long as my brother does not abstain from stealing, I do not abstain from restraining him. Do not retaliate. Do not let one retaliate against you. Let your benefaction reach him who has need of it. Even a kind master will kill to have peace. The prudent killer does not get killed. Do not undertake a matter if you cannot carry it out. Do not speak harshly to a man if you cannot make him yield by it. Loud is the voice of him who acts or has acted, because he has been commanded. Do not say something when it is not the time for it. Let's go to part 13, which is missing its first 6 lines, and it's also missing its second 6 lines. And then it begins. It says, a wise man seeks a friend, a fool seeks an enemy. He to whom a good deed was done in the past cannot repay it. Line 4 is missing. It continues. Do not give your son to the wet nurse and so cause her to set aside her own. The friend of a fool is a fool. The friend of a wise man is a wise man. The friend of an idiot is an idiot. The mother makes a child. The way makes a companion. Every man acquires property. It is a wise man who knows how to protect it. Friends of an idiot is an idiot. Hold on, let me move down. Let me see. Do not hand over your property to your younger brother and thereby make him act as your elder brother. Do not prefer one of your children to another. You do not know which one of them will be kind to you. If you find your wife with her lover, get yourself a bride to suit you. Do not get a maidservant for your wife if you do not have a maidservant. Do not speak in 2 voices. Speak truth to all men. Let it cleave to your speech. Do not open your heart to your wife. What you have said to her goes to the street. Do not open your heart to your wife or to your servant. Open it to your mother. She is a woman of discretion. A woman knows her own business. Instructing a woman is like having a sack of sand whose side is split open. Her savings are stolen goods. What she does with her husband today, she does with another man tomorrow. Do not sit down beside your superior. Do not take a youth for your companion. Let's go to section 14, which is missing the first and second lines, about 6 words apiece. It says this, it begins, He will make him give, and there's three words missing, while the condemnation of the netcher is yet after him. Do not have a thief for a companion, lest he cause you to be killed. Even a small concern has a man in its grips. Shut up a house, and it will perish as a result. He who is patient in a bad situation will not be harmed by it. He who steals from the property of another will not profit by it. If you become the companion of a wise man whose heart you do not know, do not open your heart to him. If you do good to 100 men and one of them acknowledges it, no part of it is lost. Make burnt offering and libation before the netcher. Let the fear of him be great in your heart. A thief steals by night, he is found by day. Do not make many words. A house is open to him who has goods in his hand. He who is bitten of the bite of a snake is afraid of a coil of rope. The man who looks in front of him does not stumble and fall. Do not abandon a woman of your household when she has not conceived a child. Good fortune turns away destruction by a great nutshell. Honor your fellow man. You're about 6 words missing. Do not let your servant lack his food and clothing. Do not cast glances at another's property, lest you become poor. Do not trespass on the territory of another. Do not put a house on farmland. Do not cause a man to sue you. Let's go to chapter 15. Let me see. We'll do through chapter 16, and then we'll make a third portion. Let's go to chapter 15. The first 6 portions are missing. And then it says, I do not, and then 6 words are missing. Then it says, do not, then 3 words are missing. Something with your, and then 6 words are missing. Let's continue. Then it says, there is no, 3 words are missing, reaches the sky. There is no, 3 words are missing, without crying. Do not say, 3 words are missing, a good deed to this man, but he did not acknowledge it to me. It continues. There is no good deed except a good deed which you have done for him who has need of it. If you have reached your prime and gained much property, let your brothers be great with you. Need, if its condition becomes known in the street, is reckoned a disgrace. When a youth who has been taught thinking of wrong is what he does. When a man has earned his first money, he spends it on drinking and eating. When a man smells of myrrh, his wife is a cat before him. When a man is suffering, his wife is a lioness before him. Do not be afraid to do that in which you are right. Do not commit theft, you will be found out. Do not let your son marry a woman from another town, lest he be taken from you. Muteness is better than a hasty tongue. Sitting still is better than doing a mean errand. Do not say, I undertook the matter, if you did not undertake it. Being evil will not provide for you. Gluttony will not give you food. If you are sent to get chaff and you find wheat, do not buy it. If you trade in straw when it is wanted, you should not go around with wheat. Do not do to a man what you dislike, so as to cause another to do it to you. Do not consort with the man who is discouraged and who may say, I am discouraged right now. 100 men are slain through one moment of discouragement. We're going to read the last portion here, and then we'll do a part 3 because there's a lot more. So chapter 16, 6 lines are missing. Imhotep, Brother Cosmic. Remember, this is Ankh Sheshonq. We're just finishing up parts of Ankh Sheshonq. This is part two. When I put this together, we'll probably put it with some melodic music. We'll we'll have the title screen rung. I'll probably have some pictures of Ankh Sheshonq kind of correlate here and there, and you'll hear each one of his maxims. Right now, I'm giving you a live reading so you can hear each one of these maxims. Like I said, if this sounds like stuff in your Quran, if this sounds like stuff in your Bible, if this sounds like stuff from your Bhagavad Gita, it came before those. So yeah, absolutely. This is just stuff from ancient Kemet. These are actual teachings from ancient Kemet that most people no clue about. No understand. They don't know how this came. They don't, they've never heard a lot of this. They don't know. So they don't know what we feel as a heck in the chair, as a praiser of the divine, as a Shemsu of a Shemsu Haru, a follower of Haru, a Shemsu Asar, a follower of Asar. They have no ideas about the teachings or what you should know or what you should think, or they know the 42 laws of Ma'at at best, most people. So we're giving some insight so you can rewind this, and then once I redecorate it, you'll be able to click it on, ride in your car, little music with it, etc., etc. But this is a live reading, and this is chapter 16 we're hitting right now. 16 starts 6 words missing as usual. Then it says, do not, 3 words are missing, lest you be poor forever. Then it says, do not, 6 words are missing. Then line 3, it says, do not let your schoolboy son go to the door of the storehouse in a lean year. Do not go to your brother when you are in distress. Go to your friend. Do not drink water in the house of a merchant. He will charge you for it. Do not deliver a servant into the hand of his master. Do not say, my master dislikes me. I will not serve him. Zealous service removes dislike. Borrow money at interest and put it in farmland. Borrow money at interest and take a wife. Borrow money at interest and celebrate your birthday. Do not borrow money at interest in order to live well on it. Do not swear falsely when you are in distress, lest you become worse off than you are. Do not ask advice from the Netcher and then neglect what he said. Do not laugh at a cat. Do not speak of Pharaoh's business when drinking beer. Do not make judgment in which you are wrong. Do not be faint-hearted in a bad situation. Do not conceal yourself from a stranger who comes from outside. If there is nothing in your hand, there may be something in his. Do not lend money at interest without obtaining a security. Do not be too trusting lest you become poor. Do not dislike one who says to you, I am your brother. If my share in my father's house is small, it will not increase. Do not disdain a small document, a small fire, a small soldier. And that's it for chapter 16. Remember, these are the maxims of Ankh Sheshonq. We'll be revisiting this, the third portion. I believe we can finish the third portion. Let me see. Yeah. There's about 28 books that he wrote for his son, 28 things. So, like I said, get your pen, write them down, because most of you may not be able to get the book. If you can, get it. But this is beyond the 42 virtues of Ma'at, right? This is real learning from the sesh, from the scribe, and these are actual, foundational rules. This is what he left for his son. So if a scribe is leaving something for his son, or he's leaving something important to live by, these are the measures that we should instruct our children by. These are some of the measures that we should be using. You have the maxims of Ptahhotep, you have the maxims of Amenemhat. You have several maxims, right? You have several instructions in ancient Kemet, and you have several stories to guide your life and your situation by, which correlate to now, and it's very important that you start to put a foothold on these things so that you have some true guidance. Because listening to some of these brothers out here, there's no guidance. There's no guidance. Picking up one of these spiritual books may turn you into an agent against your own culture. You don't need that. Let me say this: in ancient Kemet, uh, at a time when they called the Greeks their children, when they gave guidance, it was for the universe, it was for the world, right? Africa was at a high point at that time. And with that, with them saying that and being that, that's what you need to cling to. Universal guidance that can help everyone, right? And universal guidance that will unite everyone. And first and foremost, think of your house. Secondly, think of someone else's house. So right now, if you want proper guidance, um, you need to open some of the better books, right? You need to open some of the better books so that you don't have a lot of double talk, so that your mind can actually, heal from some of the disdain that's been put upon it, from some of the brainwashing that's been upon it, so that you can understand how nature operated on the ancients and can operate on you right now with the same effect, with the same zeal, and still be transparent, clairvoyant, and useful today, right now. Um, so when cats say, what you just study ancient Kemet for? Then you click on a video of this nature, or you send them over so we can talk, so we can have a discussion, right? So we can talk about things like interest and things of that nature. Um, Once again, this will conclude this chapter. I may finish it up tonight. I think I may have time tonight. I gotta cut this here. You'll see I'm looking like a scruff muff. Um, put a line on this thing, on this beard. It's kind of dark in here right now. But whatever. Remember who you are and be in a SAR. Uncle Jasineb, Uncle Wastijed. Any questions? Questions before we go? Good. Give you a couple seconds. Shout out to my brother Cosmic Thoughts in the building. Shout out to the other brothers checking it out. Shout out to the RBG. I seen you. On the earlier video, fam. Y'all know what it is. Looking good. We're gonna end this one. I'm casting that. Absolutely. Watch them all. So this is the second one, and then we'll do the third one, and then I'm gonna come back, redress it up, and then put it out in that fashion. You probably won't hear any of this right here on it when I clip. It'll be cleaned up, etc. I'll leave some of the laughter in there because I think it's important to not be, sometimes things are funny. Sometimes it's funny, so you should laugh. Especially when he speaks on the trust. You see just how real family is when they talk about the trust in a relationship. When they say some of the things about the lady, they don't slander the lady at any time, but you see the the trust issues that have always been. There's writings in ancient Kemet where women write about men. There's always trust issues in a relationship. uh and like it's an actuality. But anyway, Uncle Jet, Uncle Jasineb, Dua Henu. I'll see y'all soon.